Hi, this is DadBodDefender. Today I am going to do something a little different. Currently there is a trade-in event in World of Tanks, which means you can trade in your old, used up, rusty premium tanks and get a brand new tank. This is, generally speaking, in terms of game economics, a really bad idea because you only get half the gold value of the tank you decide to trade in, and you get to use that towards getting a new tank. However, if you have that one premium tank in your garage that you just never play and you really hate, well, then it might be worth trading in for a new one. So I looked at the list of tanks you can get using the trade-in system. I picked out 10 of them, and now I am going to rank them. Keep in mind, this is merely my personal opinion, and it is not necessarily based on which tanks are best in any way. Just the ones from the list that I would consider actually getting. This is only for the tier 10 tanks. If you're interested in the same kind of list for the tier 7 and tier 6 tanks, please let me know in the comments below. So, as I record this, I haven't really decided on the order of the list, so it might change as we are doing it, but we'll see what the top 10 ends up looking like. Now, the first of the 10 tanks I decided might be worth getting is the 112, the Chinese heavy tank, which you can already buy in the game for gold. It's always available for purchase. It is a somewhat underrated heavy tank, and yeah, it's one I would definitely consider getting. Right now, at this stage, I am placing it in the 8th place. That might not be where it ends up going. However, one of the reasons is that you can get this tank at any time just for gold, without discount, of course, but you can always get your hands on it. And I think the ones closer to the top need to be tanks that aren't as readily available. So another one that falls into this category would be the Swedish STRE S1 tank destroyer. This is a great tank if you like to camp in the back, but it can also be played somewhat more aggressively. It's a super accurate tank with great penetration values, and it's a very good credit maker. Now for the last of the ones that you can get at any time in the game just for gold, we have the BZ120 GFT. Placing that at 10th is probably a bit of a mistake, so I'm just going to slightly reorder those. I think I'll switch them around and put that at number 8. It's a more aggressive TV than the S1. It's pretty nimble, and it's got very well angled armor at the top. It is one of my absolute favorite premium tanks in the game. Now, next up we have an American heavy tank, the T-77. It's an autoloader, which means it's got great burst damage potential, and it's a tank that just looks super fun. In the same category, a heavy tank that's also an autoloader, we have the French Sommier SM. I feel it's got better armor than the T-77, and it's definitely a great tank to play. Now, the first of the top 5 tanks, I believe, for me, would have to be the GSAW 1008. This one could be ranked higher. We'll see how it ends up with the top 5 in the end. It's it's a British autoloader. It's got a pretty long reload, but can burst out a lot of damage real quick. Then one of the G-Saw 1008 is one of the 4 new additions this time, so that counts as well. And the next one, and I think some might contest this, for me would be the Bisonte, an Italian heavy tank, auto-reloading heavy tank, which can be super fun to play, but for me it's kind of, I find it hard to play. I'm not a super good player in any way, so I think that one's just a little bit, I think it's a bit difficult. Then the third new addition is the 7032, a double-barreled Soviet heavy tank, which is super fun to play. I guess it can be played a bit like an auto-reloader, but with the option of firing 2 shells at once, which can lead to some serious damage. In second place, we have the Astron Rex, an American Tier 8 medium tank. Again, it's an autoloader and it's mobile and it's got good gun depression, decent armor. I think this is just a wonderful tank. And finally, in first place, and this is probably the one I never had any doubts about, the 122TM. And the great thing about this tank is that if you're a good player, you can do some magical things with it, but if you're not a good player, well, you can still do quite well with the 122TM. So I'm definitely absolutely certain this is my top pick. I also very much like the Astron Rex in the second pick. Numbers 3 through 5, I have my doubts. So that's just kind of my feeling about those right now. I really don't do well in the Bisonte, so I think I'm going to switch that with the G-Saw. However, if the Bisonte matches your playstyle better than it does mine, well, more power to you. So the final top 10 is the 122TM, the Astron Rex, the 7032, the G-Saw 1008, the Bisonte C45, the Sommier SM, the T77, the VZ120 1FT, I believe, the STRV S1, and the 112. Now, once again, remember that you are losing gold when you trade in old tanks for new ones, because you're only getting half the value of the tank you choose to trade in. But if you do have a tank that you really suck in and have absolutely no fun in, which is the case for me with the M4Y, well, then it might definitely be worth considering a trade-in. That's it for this video. If you like this list and want one for the Tier 7 and Tier 6s respectively, please let me know in the comments below.